This one. They cannot wait. Spoke to some of them after their defeat to Mexico in their last group stage game, and they were pretty frustrated. Same old story, one of them said to me. We've been in these matches. We've had the chances. We just haven't been able to convert them. And if you look at that lineup there of the Australians, there are plenty of players in there that can do damage. You're right when you say that maybe they can feel a little bit hard done by. You're also right when you say that Peru's chances of qualification are unlikely. But then again, earlier tonight we saw the Italians score 6 to the United States 2. They needed a 4-goal swing to progress. They got a 4-goal swing, so it's not impossible, and that will give the Peruvians hope. They're only in this position because they saw off Latvia with 2 late goals in their last group stage game. Right at the death, Raul Otero finished off to give them a 2-1 victory. For Australia, they want to sign off with a victory from this World Cup. They can't go through to the knockout stages, but they've enjoyed themselves, the Sixeroos here in Muscat, and they want to finish off with a win. You can see John Stamboliev there giving a few words to his teammates, a passionate character. He's been missing his surfboard, he was telling me, and he'll soon be back to the east coast of Oz, but first he's got business to do as the Australians try and sweep aside Peru.
He told us, didn't he, Stamboliev, that he is bang up for this one, and they certainly look it. They belted out their national anthem, and this, of course, their first ever Soccer World Cup. They only joined the federation this year. They perhaps learned a couple of harsh lessons. One of them is that if you don't take your chances, you ultimately get punished. Albania punished them, as did Latvia, but they were by no means out of those games. And they believe, don't they, that they can get a result here against Peru. And you won't bet against them.
One thing you'll always get from Australia, it doesn't matter what the sport is that competitive streak, that competitive edge. They live and breathe sport down under. Doesn't matter whether it's rugby union, rugby league, cricket, soccer. They will be bang up for everything they compete in. And you just saw the way that they absolutely roared out Advance Australia Fair, their national anthem. They are wanting desperately to give those people watching back home something to cheer about.
Well, Peru will be well aware that they need to win big to progress. I don't think it's something they'll necessarily be expecting to do, but like you say, don't rule anything out. The Italians pulled off a quite miraculous comeback to secure their place tomorrow morning in the round of 16. There's Walter Brousset, the man who scored 2 stunners in one game. Seen a few keepers get braces, and his was quite special. The second one slammed home from within his own penalty area, and if you miss that, you can catch up with it by downloading the International Soccer Federation app. Free from the App Store. And unlocks a world of content from this Soccer World Cup. Bernhard, balls in his gloves. Nicknamed the Swiss Kangaroo. Spent time in Europe playing futsal on the continent. Now back in Australia.
Well, Shane Watson kept goal in the last group stage game and came off in a bit of a huff, it has to be said.
Zone under that one. Well, those two linked up against Latvia. Ramandi and Azone. Ramandi scooping a delicious ball into his path, and Azone finishing with aplomb.
And a big good morning to all of the Australians watching down under. A very early Friday start for them.
Ramandi, chance to weave some magic.
5 o'clock in the morning in Canberra.
Well, if they've woken up that early, then they deserve 3 points. Elbra sticks a foot in. Ball breaks loose and it's a firm tackle.
Early afternoon in Peru, just for a bit of balance. 1:05 in the afternoon.
That sounds much more like it, doesn't it? And the ball breaks for Peru now. Slotted through well, chance here for the Peruvians, but Azone first wins the tackle and then gives his man a shove. Upton gives him a little shoulder back just to say, watch yourself.
I told you they're competitive, those Australians. They are pumped. They're absolutely amped, yeah. Looking forward to this. since the conclusion of their game against Mexico.
Brousset chips a nice ball into the touchline. Peru stroking it around. The Aussies, of course, the 5th continent to play at a Soccer World Cup, and Bernhard in the zone, just breaking down communication, but Bernhard takes control.
Yeah, I think we're represented by pretty much all continents apart from Antarctica. And I'm not sure they're going to scrape together a team of polar bears and penguins anytime soon.
Sam Young down the touchline for Ben Morrison, who's in the squad alongside his brother James, who told me before kick-off he's going to wrap one into the top corner. Hopefully a man of his word.
Aussies making early changes.
Keeping those legs fresh.
Fresh for the long flight home. About 16 or so hours back to Australia. Australia a long way from anywhere.
Loose pass from Peru. And Australia give it straight back to them with one of their own. Brousset. We know he can shoot. So does Casale as he applies the pressure. Well, Australia, they spent 4 days in Dubai at a training camp ahead of this one. Prepared in the right way. They had friendlies against Uruguay and South Africa. They weren't taking it lightly. To say their first ever Soccer World Cup. And you feel that they may have learned a couple of lessons from it. They'll come back stronger, of course. I speak as their head coach, and he's telling me they've also got a couple of young 17-year-olds coming through on the soccer circuit. Didn't quite make the cut this year, but who knows, next year they could well be in Cancun. Abdurrahman tries to reverse one round the corner.
Yeah, it will be a learning experience for the Aussies, no question about it, both on and off the soccer pitch.
Flick down the line, Casale chasing.
Sounds like a good life being a sixer-root.
Oh,
4 days in Dubai and then 9 days in Muscat. Sign me up. Although I am told that this is a multicultural Australian side, which is brilliant to see. See Mosaic printed, or Metros printed on the bottom of their shirt. Mosaic on the home shirt, the famous green and gold. And that stands for Mosaic Metros, a multicultural sports club. Helps promote multiculturalism and diversity in Australia. Jared is here with the team. He's the leader of the club and the team manager for the Sixeroos. Got players of Bulgarian descent. We've even got an Englishman in the Australian team. I'm not too sure how I feel about that.
They do indeed. George Hart, who originally hails from London, spent time at Grays Athletic in Braintree, now in Queensland. Well, I don't blame him for swapping the rainy streets of London for the subtropical climate of Queensland. And here he is on the ball, sporting a lovely yellow underlayer as Aboudareb steps inside, strikes. Good save from Brousset, still there. Huge chance for Casale, who could only find the knee of big Walter Brousset. First real opening for Australia, and it was a good one. Here he is again, Hart. Aboudareb spins his man ever so well. He's got two to aim for in the middle. Deflection takes it wide of the post. Australia building.
They really are building. Well, missed chances has been the tale of their tournaments, and there was another couple that they couldn't score. Phil, when the first one goes in, might be a case of the dam breaking for the Australians, and they'll all come flooding in.
Well, as George Hull will be well aware of, sometimes goals come like London buses. Peru stride forward. Here's a chance. Well defended from Casale.
Well, why don't we swap Georgie Boy for the Ashes? How about that? Instead of the Aussies nicking our players. No, I'm just kidding. Great to see the representation of so many, and all singing Advance Australia Fair with such gusto.
Elijah Howe calls for the handball, gets it. Good work from him.
Yeah, unlucky for Peru, but right decision, I think.
Spent time in the Australian professional game, did Elijah Howe. As did Matt Casale. Italian heritage, spent a decade in the NPL. Not bad going. Elijah Howe over this one. Strikes it towards Walter Pusey's goal. Held well. And he bowls one down the line. Upton there challenging with Hull. Does get the shot off and wins the free kick as well. Hull just a little too eager in his attentions.
He did well, Upton, to spin away under that pressure defensively and get his shot away. Yeah, he's got a fistful of his shirt there. No complaints from the Pom.
Joins the wall as George Hart. Boudareb on the post. Peru work it short. They work it well. And it's not a million miles away from Luis Castro. Nice idea. Just couldn't get the bend he needed.
Yeah, Luis Castro was so important against Latvia for Peru. Really important, both creatively and in terms of scoring the goals as well. You feel that if they are going to beat Australia here by the margin that's required to progress to the knockout stages, he's going to play a crucial role.
Hassan Boudareb, who's looked lively since coming on. Wasn't one of his finer passes, but a very talented player nonetheless. His drive that opened things up for a double chance for the Aussies, and Matt Casale could nip in here. Interception, then tuck and roll.
It's like a Robbie Keane celebration from back in the day. Minus the goal, of course.
Minus the goal, which has been pretty much the story of Australia's tournament. Just the goal away from completing a couple of really good performances. But they've come up against some know-how, haven't they? The Albanians and the Latvians.
That's soccer for you. Sometimes about how you play the game and not how good you are at the game.
Stambolief will always apply pressure, and it's dropped to Casale. Another effort, and another one into the grateful paws of Walter Pusey.
That's 4 now, I can count at least. Shots on target.
Stambolief's not impressed with that one, is he? A few rolls in there from Ponche.
Well, Stambolief was sin-binned in Australia's game against Mexico. Just a little nudge. He felt hard done by with that yellow card that saw him on the sides for 2 minutes. He didn't feel that there was enough contact in that match, but penalised. Just a free kick on this occasion.
Heart of the line, Stambolief.
He's a proper character, isn't he?
He is. Elijah Howe can stride forward now, off the heels of Stambolief, who just couldn't crane his neck to see the pass from his teammate. But they can come again now, Australia. Elijah Howe, Boudareb, Stambolief. Loose ball, breaks down. Howe's back in there, but Peru turn it over once more. Upton cuts it back, laid off, gobbled up by Boudareb, who stopped in his tracks fairly.
By the big fella.
By the big fella.
Raul Otero. He's a bit of a lump as well, isn't he?
40
in the yellow
years
boots.
old is Otero, 41 in January.
And 40 minutes was when he scored against Latvia. He was the hero for Peru.
The Boudareb nibbling away. Luis Castro, as is Stambolief.
It's good from Stambo, that.
Never lets anyone have a second's rest. Thinks he's fouled, he is fouled. Australia have themselves a free kick. And they make a couple of substitutions. Casale and Boudareb, the men.
I tell you what, Stambolief would have lost his lid had the referee not given that decision. Very similar to the foul he was penalised for on this near side.
Well, he breaks the stereotype of a chilled out surfer, doesn't he?
Maybe not in looks, because he certainly looks like a surfer.
Oh, he does. You could take him out that Australia top and still guess roughly where he's from. Loose from the zone 8.
Well, Peru have had 12.5 minutes to try and break through the Aussies, and as much as we said Italy had a hard task scoring the 4 clear goals they needed against the United States, they've really turned it on in the second period. No one's yet grabbed this game by the scruff of the neck.
Bousset again trying his luck. And why not? Scored a couple of crackers against the Albanians. And Australia telling us as well they'd love to host a tournament. I think Sydney Harbour would be a fine location for a soccer competition, and I have to say I'm inclined to agree with them. As for next year's tournament,
there's a few places in Australia.
Ramandi doing ever so well to harry his man. Referee said they're absolutely fine with it. Just forced wide is Ramandi. Azone stills in. Elijah Howe's down the line. Just too heavy for him. Too much purchase on it.
This game's heating up, Frankie.
It is.
Bodies are flying into challenges.
Well, Peru weren't happy that they weren't awarded the free kick from Ramandi's attention. And Castro raced across, didn't he? And you felt for a minute like he was just going to clean him out. Stamberley forward. Ramandi's ahead of him. Here is Ramandi. Takes the shot on! Off the inside of the post. And it's whiskers away from Behnam Ramandi. They call him the boy, not from Rosario, because of his skills and magical left foot. Well, he almost found the top corner there.
Australia must be thinking someone's switched the goals out every time we play. Made them smaller, made the posts fatter. They just can't seem to score in this tournament. They have scored in previous matches, of course, but they should have definitely chalked up more goals than they have. And there was another example exactly of that.
Well, they've only had a couple, and they could have had an absolute hatful. Another one going blissfully close for the Aussies. Ramandi cheeking his way up the touchline. Forced out again by Raul Otero. And what he lacks in pace, he makes up for in stature, doesn't he, Otero? James Morrison, the player coach, sticks to his task well, as does Stamberley.
Yeah, unfortunately for James Morrison, his side have been playing on broken strings a little bit. Unable to score as many goals as they would have hoped for in this tournament. They just need to give him something to make them feel all right.
Peru striding forward, and that's an effort. And it's an effort that's tipped excellently onto the crossbar by Sebastian Bernhard. Important stop for the Swiss Kangaroo, who sprung to his left.
What a save from Bernhard. Excellent strike as well. This was travelling. And like first slip away to his right, tipping it onto the bar.
Spring-loaded back heels as Bernhard. Stamberley just asking the ref to be aware of some shirt pulling. Sam Young down the line for Ramandi. There was a lick of paint away from scoring. Tries his luck again there. Same story. .5 played. Still Australia search for their opener.
Well, unless it all comes falling apart at the seams for the Aussies, Peru aren't going to be winning 5-0 and going through.
They're certainly not. Well, we did assume before this one kicked off.
We can't say they're certainly not, but they're probably not.
You felt there was more chance of the Italians.
I'm not hanging my hat on anything after what the Italians did.
Sam Young striding forward into acres of space. That's a neat ball into the feet of Kurt Elbra. They had a man over, did Australia.
Great tracking back from the Aussies.
Ramandi. Crowded out. James Morrison. Sam Young. Good ball into the feet of Azone. Flicks it round the corner for Elba. Another loose touch, and Brazil can counter. Yupton is abruptly stopped by James Morrison, their leader-in-chief. Bulldozed him down to the turf.
Well, Australia with defending to do. Boom. See that in AFL.
Free kick works short. Otero. Kick in.
I think that says it all. Kick in. Poor from Peru. They do have a late flurry in them. We've seen that in this tournament, but so far as we creep up towards half-time, the Australians have been the ones in the ascendancy. They've hit the post. They've had chances saved by the goalkeeper. They just need to keep working hard. Their moment will come, and you feel like when it does, they have a great opportunity to just go on, use that confidence to execute the performance that will see them win.
The zone 8 down the touchline for Budareb. Not long left for the Aussies to find their way through before the half-time interval. The Budareb on the ball again. Good feet from him.
Yeah, he's been good, hasn't he?
Almost a clever ball round the corner, but the jinky figure that is Louis Castro steals back in. But here's an opportunity. De Silva. Touch fails him. Here he is again.
Yeah, too slow from De Silva. Too slow. It was superb work from Sam Young to win it back. Harrying, hassling, turn the ball over in the Aussies' favour. The ball comes to De Silva and he takes a touch and waits for it to settle in the box. You have to take those first time sometimes. Just get it on target. Poke it goalwards, whatever you've got to do. You don't have time in the World Cup to settle like that.
That's a neat ball round the corner. Otero, the man, trying to cross. But you're absolutely right, in soccer, space is at a premium, and one duff touch can let you down.
One duff touch can change your fortunes at a whole tournament. You've seen that already.
There is the half-time whistle. 0-0 at the break. Same story for Australia. Stuck on that one track. They've tried, but still the goals aren't coming. Benan Ramandi coming the closest, thumping the post with a curler. And you fear, the longer it goes on like this, the game might slip into the same pattern that the Aussies have experienced twice already.
Yeah, 0-0 at half-time. Australia with 6 shots, 4 on target, and the shot that hit the post doesn't count as a shot on target. So that just tells you the story. Peru have had their opportunities, but that one real save from the goalkeeper, Bernard, where he tipped it on to the crossbar. It's probably the clearest opportunity that the Peruvians have had. Australia have been the side in the ascendancy. That's 1 on target, that's 2 on target. Broussais behind both of them. There's a third. That was going wide from Peru. Well, there's a fourth, and then of course the one that hit the post as well.
Look at this.
There we go. Not on target, but off the post. So 5 opportunities there for the Australians. That's the save from Bernard. Peru's clearest chance of the game.
And again, it's just really, a theme, wasn't it? A series of loose touches.
Not really dropping for them in the box. That was a big old shoulder barge from James Morrison. Well, Australia, I'm sure, won't want to go home finishing the tournament with a 0-0, will they?
They won't. And
I know it's better than being beaten, and I understand that, but the Aussies are desperate to win a game and desperate to go on and score.
And they feel they deserve it, Australia, and I'm inclined to agree with them. They pushed Albania and Latvia all the way, and those are 2 soccer sides with a lot of know-how. Not necessarily the most flair or technical ability. Albania, of course, led by their captain and leader-in-chief Katsa. But perhaps that's what they're missing, Australia, just that little bit of know-how, a little bit of cuteness. And it will come. Look, it's their first tournament.
Absolutely.
It's the first time they've ever been involved in a Soccer World Cup, and we've seen a lot of sides come to Soccer World Cups thinking, oh, that's okay, 6-side football. I play 6-side football all the time. What they don't do is play Europeans South Americans, Africans, who have been playing this game for a lot longer.
Totally agree, and actually I think the group that Australia have been put in will do them favours.
It will.
Coming to the next World Cup. I'm hoping to see them there in Cancun in 2025. Maybe we'll see them enter other tournaments as well. But Peru are a team who fit that bill as you've described. South American style, but an older side that have the experience and the know-how in soccer tournaments. Mexico, a North American or Central American side, wherever you want to place them on the map, a side who move the ball quickly and are pretty ruthless with their chances. They've got a good coach in Sergio Lopez as well. Yeah. Albania, you mentioned Katsa, one of the best players in Europe and a star man. Not a one-man team by any stretch of the imagination, but someone with that singular player who can turn a game on its head. So all of these factors will be helpful for the Australians moving forward, and they'll learn because they've been competitive in all of the games, and so they just need to tighten up those margins, those points of difference, and they might stand themselves in greater stead for the next one.
You're absolutely right. Like I say, they've been exposed to a wide bandwidth of styles and teams and challenges. Latvia, of course, big physical presence. They dig in. They won't go forward and score loads of goals, but what they will do is keep it tight and take their opportunities when they come. Mexico, on the other end of the spectrum, finished third in Essen last year. Soccer Copa America champions, easy for me to say. So, look, it's been a tough group. Probably, if you look at it on paper, not many will give the Australians credit for how hard this group has been. But, you know, until you're being suffocated by the likes of Albania and Latvia, you don't fully appreciate it.
No, you're absolutely right, Frankie. And Australia, 20 minutes away from concluding their World Cup in 2024. Peru the same, unless they can score 5 without reply in this second half. We've seen some wild things today alone. We've seen some crazy things happen in the world of soccer and in World Cups. But that, I think, would be the most ridiculous thing I've seen yet.
Judging off that first half, I would say it's comfortably be the wildest thing we would have seen and will see at this Soccer World Cup if Peru plunder 5 in the second half. Australia will get us back underway through John Stambelief. Well, they're on course for their first point, but they want the 3. Yupton for Peru. Work to the byline, Crosswell, Bernhard can't hold.
Poor giveaway from Australia from the kickoff, and it nearly cost them within seconds of the restart.
Brousset, as he usually does, bringing it up to the halfway line. Castillo. Quick start for the Peruvians.
Good stretch, good stop from the Englishman.
And potentially a good break on here. Romandi chops inside. Opportunity! Saved again by Brousset. And another chance goes amiss for Australia. Benem Romandi. Again the man coming close.
Yeah, I think that was more of a case of a great save than a bad miss from Australia on this occasion, Frankie. Brousset out rapidly. He did all of the hard work in getting himself into position. But unfortunately, Romandi just couldn't lift it over the goalkeeper. And in fact, the referee has just indicated the RVAS signal.
Yeah, well, they're going to check whether Romandi was given a tug as he burst through on goal. For now, we play on. Here is Romandi, sent tumbling to the turf once more. He's not happy with that as he fakes to throw the ball at Ponche.
There's not a great deal at stake in this game, just national pride, and I suppose that's as big a thing as ever. Now the Peruvians
Ponche
getting involved.
Really not happy.
Well, he's getting a real rollicking from the referee.
One thing's for sure, the Aussies won't back down from this one. One more game on the way for you this evening. Ireland also looking for their first win of the World Cup against Colombia.
A final warning from the match official to both players.
Handbags reholstered. Ramandi stands over the free kick, as does Casali, who strikes into the wall, out for a kick in.
Check complete, by the way, on that earlier incident.
Casali and Stamboleaf exchange passes. Back to Hall.
It's good pressure from Peru, forcing the Aussies back to their own goalkeeper.
Well, Ponche's really riled up, isn't he? He's screaming at every Australia player as they get the ball. Oh. And wow, look at that from Ramandi. Excellent piece of skill.
Oh. Why has the referee stopped that? Has he gone out of play? Well, it's a shame to end that move. Beautiful flick.
Well, it's been given. I'm not quite sure why. There's a direct free kick.
Maybe something off the ball that we didn't spot, Frankie. That's the only explanation I can think of.
Well, rightly so. We were dazzled by Ramandi's footwork. All in vain. Peru have themselves a dangerous free kick that Luis Castro stands over. As I was saying just moments ago, Ponche was just barking in the ears of Australian players. Of course, he's riled up. Castro and Otero. Peru's veteran standing over it. 3 in the wall for the Aussies. Worked short to the back post. Flashed high and over the bar.
Big miss. Big miss for Peru. Their chances ebbing away.
Baluarte it was lurking. 25 played, and still we wait for our opener. Elijah Howe. Oh no! Disaster! Sebastian Bernhard takes his eye off the ball, and it rolls under his foot and into the back of his own net. Calamitous from the Swiss kangaroo. And Peru, well, they've opened the scoring without even having to touch the ball.
Oh dear. Bad news for Bernhard. Right under his foot. Completely missed the ball. And Peru now have wind in their sails.
Right under his foot and shooting himself in the foot is Sebastian Bernhard. And if that doesn't sum up the Australians' luck, I don't know what does. A Rob Green moment for Sebastian Bernhard on the world stage.
You have to feel for him. It's just horrible when that happens. Especially as a goalkeeper, where there is just no margin for error. You make a loose touch in the middle of the park, there might be a counter. Do it as a keeper, guaranteed goal.
Strike comes in from Otero. Side-footed effort blocks away from Australia. Well, they were struggling to find one goal. Now they need to conjure 2 if they want to register 3 points. As it stands, they're heading home without a solitary point to their name.
Sloppy from the Aussies again.
Just losing their heads a little bit. Upton back to Castro. Howe snaps into the challenge. Peru have a corner and they've got their tails up.
Australia do have fight in them. That was a real gut-wrencher, that mistake from Bernhard. They have to show a response.
Bruce looks to line one up, but he's closed down quickly by Abudareb. And we might see the overhead kick. We do. And the Peruvian fans think that Upton has scored, when in fact his athletic effort has crashed into the side netting. But in fairness to them, he wasn't far away.
He really wasn't. Great athletic effort. Do you wonder whether the goalkeeper could have come and claimed? The Aussies had cleared the box and left a couple of white shirts in there. And one of them able to execute that bicycle kick just into the side netting. Stays 1-0 to Peru.
Stamboli concedes the free kick for chomping at the heels of Baluarte. Here he is again. Neat footwork from him. Azone directs across the box, but to no one.
Just that final ball from the Aussies, isn't it?
It is. Sam Young will have some defensive duties here, and he does them excellently.
Really good from Young. The build-up's been good, Australia. Just that final pass or the finish that's been lacking, not just tonight, but all tournament.
Sam Young. Abudareb shoots. Another off target.
Still time left. Still 12 minutes for Australia, but 12 minutes also for Peru. They won't score 4 goals in that 12 minutes, but they will potentially end with a win.
Well, it was an excellent effort there from Louis Castro. 2 overhead kicks in a matter of minutes.
They are late bloomers, Peru. They are. We saw it against Latvia. 2 goals in the last 2 minutes.
Kurt Elbra pressured from Otero, and here is Peru's veteran. Chip to the back post. The Sixeroos snap back into their ranks. Brilliant work there by Castillo on that far touchline. Under serious pressure, weaves his way out.
Well, we've seen so much drama today alone, let alone in these group stages of the World Cup. Do we have more in store for us? Final 11 minutes in the final group stage game of Group F.
Peru work it back to Bruce. The goal-scoring goalkeeper goes for it, and he wasn't far away. Castro on the follow-up. Another save from Bernhardt, redeeming himself for that earlier mistake.
I dare say he's made amends, because that was unbelievable from the Australian goalkeeper. 2 excellent saves in quick succession. First one was flying into the top corner. The second one, point-blank range, and he keeps them both out.
Well, I called him the goal-scoring goalkeeper, Walter Bruce. He almost had a third of this World Cup. Ben Morrison, Azone, Young. Slip from Young.
Did well to keep hold of that.
Abudareb's done even better to dispossess his man. Good run forward, has his heels clipped. Still stays on his feet and gives it away. Peru have got 3 on 2 here. Smashed across the box. Ben Morrison deflects clear. Castro nods back into the danger area. Elbra nods away. Just fizzling slightly, the Aussies.
Australia with one on the edge of the box.
And they find him. It's Elbra. Can't quite make it stick.
Gap's beginning to open up now for Peru. Australia just need to be careful. A second goal, you feel, definitely kills the game. It's been so tight.
Morrison collects and spins away from danger. Australia's bench urging them to get high.
I think naturally the Aussies are just making those deeper runs towards the edge of the box, and I'm not sure that's quite the right approach. They need a bit more of this.
Morrison into the area.
Because it leaves these spaces here for Peru.
And here they come with Castillo. Peru 1 goal up. They need another 4 to qualify. That's a feat that's looking more and more unlikely as the moments tick away.
Yeah, I just think with Australia it's natural to kind of run away from the ball and towards goal. You know, almost like an 11-a-side where you expect it to go long and cause a bit of chaos. You don't need to do that in 6-a-side. In fact, that's probably a tactic which will return the ball to Peru faster than you want to. There's loads of time left in the game.
Azone.
You know, the gaps between defence and attack too big for Australia at the moment. They were good in the first half.
Budareb gives it away and then concedes the foul. Yupton's asking for the yellow card. And Budareb subs himself off before he could get it. Ramandi on for Australia, the man who rattled the post and had another fine opportunity in the second half.
Yeah, he's been good, so has Budareb. He's been excellent. Australia have been good tonight.
They have, and they've been good all tournament. You could say with the exception of 3-0 defeat to Mexico.
Just that final pass or giving the ball away needlessly, carelessness.
Just the final piece of the puzzle for them, isn't it? Bernhard rolls it out.
Great touch.
Makes it stick, does De Silva. Sam Young.
He's got to drive forward here, Frankie, over halfway at least.
He hits that halfway line. And Casali flicks it round the corner, and it's just not clicking for Australia, is it?
They've run out of ideas a bit, the Aussies. They had the game in the palm of their hands in the first half.
Well, as we come to learn from soccer, if you miss opportunities, it will come back to bite you. Even more so if you make mistakes. And Bernhard made quite a sizable one as the ball rolled under his foot and into the back of his own net. Sam Young works the space for a shot, gets one off. Brousset gets low. Ramandi steals it back.
In a nutshell, Australia's tournament in a nutshell. Ramandi just there, keeper spills it, can't get hold of it, just agonisingly pokes off the end of his toe and out for a goal kick. Story of their tournament, really.
Brousset. Casali pressing high. Sam Young cushions it down nicely for Ben Morrison, who flights one over towards De Silva, and it's just loose pass after loose pass at the minute.
Yeah, they were keeping the ball on the ground in the first half, the Aussies. Haven't done it so much in the second, particularly in the last 5 minutes or so. Just need to stay patient. They will get a chance. If you're thinking they haven't used them all up in the first half, where they had at least 4 shots on target and an effort that hit the post, it feels like they're trying to force it, desperately chasing that equaliser.
You can draw some comparisons between the Aussies and the Irish in many ways. Ireland failed to register a single point last year in Essen, and Australia look like they're heading the same way in this tournament. You just feel that, similar to the Irish, there's lessons to be learned in soccer. How to play the game. They've clearly got the talent. That much is unquestionable. Just missing a tiny bit of the know-how, and of course that rub of the green as well. Howe to De Silva. Does well to spin it round the corner. Bobbles into the path for De Silva, into the legs of Brousset.
Had to smash it, just smash it. Put your left boot through it. Instead it was just sort of feebly nudged towards goal.
That's a neat ball from Casali, because De Silva was lurking. Brousset knew it. Poured it over the bar, didn't he, with his bear-like hands.
Yeah, good save. I'm not sure whether he was able to generate that power that I was craving.
Casali takes a tumble in the penalty area.
That's a penalty.
And it's an off-the-ball incident, and it's rightly a penalty.
That is a penalty.
Silly play from Yupton, who grabs hold of Casali, drags him down to the turf. And Australia are given a golden gift to get back into this one. Well, the officials will, of course, check it, as is routine. They are...
Yeah, RVAS,
I should say.
Having a look at the moment.
Well, it looked as clear as day from our position, didn't it?
I mean, right in front of the official as well.
Just get another look at it. They have an
it's a
initial
penalty.
nibble at each other.
Is it in the box, though, the initial contact? That will be what the referees are deliberating over. Is it in the box or outside of the box?
Where does the foul start? Well, Peru are saying it starts outside, and they might be right.
Oh, really hard to tell.
It's right on the line, isn't it?
Well, it's again, if that wasn't a foul, then that one was.
Yeah, the second nibble was definitely inside.
Double infringements. Penalty stands. Australia get the opportunity.
Protest from Peru, but they'll fall on deaf ears. And it's going to be Behnam Ramandi
If the first one wasn't a foul, the second one.
The second one was.
That was pure AFL.
He doubled down, didn't he, Yipton? Benan Ramandi.
Yep.
The boy not from Brasario. He's got one in this tournament. He's come close in this one already.
Aussies have to score to have any chance. Points in the tournament.
Can he make this soccer penalty count? Ramandi bearing down on goal. Brousset to beat. Looks to go round him. Sits him down. Not once, not twice, but Brousset gets back at him. And would you believe it? Australia just allergic to that goal. Ramandi looked to have done the hard work. Brousset stuck out a paw. And still, they failed to find the back of Peru's net.
Even just in the way Brousset, who did brilliantly, by the way, the Peru goalkeeper, just kind of scraped it onto his opponent's leg.
And Casale crashes in to Yupton. Peru incensed.
Sin bin for the Aussie.
It goes from bad to worse. Clearly frustrated, Casale. And as he should be, his side have had chances. He's had a couple himself. Ramandi just seconds ago missing that soccer penalty. And just another look.
Yeah.
Barge.
Arm across the chest. Clear yellow card, clear free kick. Well, in and amongst all of this, Frankie, it must be remembered that Peru are on their way out of the tournament as well, despite the fact that they're only a minute away from victory in this game. They've not scored the required volume of goals to do the difficult task of getting through.
They may have another hit. Stamboulith clears. Harsh on Peru, because there won't be many teams on 9 points that don't qualify for the knockouts. But that's the situation they find themselves in. Both Albania and Mexico besting them on goal difference, unless they can find another 4 in the remaining 30 seconds. Now that would be special. Brousset lines one up, strikes again, clear of Bernhard's goal on this occasion. What a disappointing night for the Australians.
Yeah, fair. Australia won't advance to the knockout stages, but they've been great sports, and I know they'll hate me saying that, the Aussies. No one wants to be great sports. You want to be winners, you want to go through, you want to be competitive. Well, they've certainly been competitive in what's a difficult group for them. They've held their own.
And here come Peru. Can Yupton wrap it up? Second chance to do so. Smashed into the stands. And it looks like this game is destined to finish with just the one goal.
And a one goal coming from an Australian mistake as well. Bernard will be feeling sick in the pit of his stomach right now. Only a dead rubber as far as Australia are concerned. But every game is important when you're representing your country.
And it was a game they truly believed they could win, the Australians.
And they could have won it.
Their belief wasn't unfounded. They could have well won it. And it's 2. It goes from bad to worse for an Australia side who just can't get going at this World Cup. And they will finish rock bottom of Group F. 0 points from 4 games. And Peru, well, they've got a second. They won't have their 5. But they're signing off in style. And it's Fabio Castillo, the man smashing it past Bernhard at his near post.
3-0 would be really cruel on Australia. Bombing bodies forward.
They've also deployed the rush keeper, Sam Young, the man who's going to play
too
the
late.
makeshift stopper.
It's too late for Australia, unfortunately.
Over a minute into additional time. Well, you said they finished strong. They finished strong there. Castillo putting the gloss on Peru's victory. Still keen to find more Peru, despite the odds being stacked against them. Hull, another loose pass, loops out of play. Look how quickly they're harrying. How can Australia find a consolation? Out of play and out of time, Australia. Whistle short, approaching. Brousset. Elijah Howe intercepts. Could we finally see the consolation? We do. Australia have their goal. It may not be enough to salvage a point, but at least it's something to take back to Down Under land. Elijah Howe squaring it across the face, and it's Azone who scored against Latvia. He's added to his tally, and there goes the full-time whistle. 0-0 for the Aussies in Group F, despite valiant efforts. Peru have their 3 points, but they don't have their 5 goals, and these two sides will be exiting the Soccer World Cup.
Yeah, a bagel for Australia in the group phase. 0 points, but no shortage of energy, effort and competition from the Aussies. They've been excellent sports, unlucky not to get anything from any of their group games, and they will march on to the next tournament with plenty of learning having been done and plenty of experience under their belts as well to utilise and work on. Peru with another victory. Peru with 9 points, but Peru back to South America and out of the World Cup.
Now you're going to try and find someone pitch side for some post-match reaction. Another tough one for the Australians, who have had to swallow some bitter pills at this Soccer World Cup. First time competitors. They've learnt the hard way, spurning a series of chances. Yet another gut punch for them. Well, stay with us, because coming very shortly, the Irish go in search of their first win of the tournament. They face Colombia. Both teams already resigned to their fate, but national pride on the line. We'll be bringing you all the action from that one live, and it's coming up next.
I'm here with the Aussie boys. I've got Stambo, I've got James with me. I'll come to you first.
Yeah.
Disappointing again. We've loved having you at this World Cup. I think you've enjoyed being here, apart from a few little things, chances missed.
Yeah.
Frustrating for the boys, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, foremost, we have absolutely loved being here. We've loved the crowd, we love the energy, and we love playing this style of football. And yeah, I guess it's just one of those tournaments, but that's tournament football. You have to take your chances.
Stambo, you said to me yesterday that you've been missing your surfboard back in Australia. You'll get to go back there before long, but I bet you would have rather stayed, and had you put away a few of the chances, you could well have been continuing in this tournament.
Oh, mate, yeah, I do miss home, but I would love to continue on into the finals, but it's just, as you said, it's finals footy, it's fucking the World Cup, and we just got to do it, and it wasn't our tournament. But that's just how it is, eh?
Yeah, it's one of those. How much learning and experience have the lads learned? This is your first World Cup, and you've been in a group with some really top teams who have done this many times over. So you can take this away, I presume, and learn for the next one.
Oh, 100%. Like Cancun 2025, we're coming for you hard. And every single game, I thought we did better. We worked and tweaked ourselves into that. and I'm super excited for what Soccer Australia can do in 2025.
Lads, we've loved having you. Enjoy the rest of the tournament. Great to see you. Australia, unfortunately, out of the World Cup.
Cheers, right?
Ireland and Colombia.
Well, after 40 teams descended on Muscat hoping to be crowned world champions, they've had to go through a grueling group stage. And with this final game in Group D, we wrap up the pool process. It's Ireland against Colombia. The knockout stages have been decided in this World Cup. Now for one last dance in the groups between these two teams who are hoping to sign off with a victory. But first, the national anthems of Colombia and of Ireland.
Please remain standing for the national anthem of Colombia.
One last group stage dance here at the Soccer World Cup Oman 2024. It's Ireland who have conducted themselves with real spirit and energy, but unfortunately for them, their tournament ends at the group stages Oisin Proudfoot has been a goal scorer in this tournament, as has Andrew Power. The Irish full of characters and full of enthusiasm. Javier Pereira Cabral and Justin Bebbington, our match officials for this one. One from Spain, the other from England. Well, how about Colombia? One of the smaller squads in the tournament, and lining up for the national anthems, just 8 players. Will that be a factor this evening in this 11 p.m. Oman time kickoff against the Irish? Colombia with a 4-4 draw in their group stage opener against Iran. Of course, Brazil, one of the other sides in this group, and one of the sides going through to the knockout stages. These two sides won't be, but a chance to sign off with some pride and positivity here in Muscat. Well, the Irish diaspora can be found in all corners of the globe. Same can be said for right here in the Middle East. The crowds at this World Cup have been enthusiastic and passionate. And the same can be said for these two sets of players. Well, here's how Group D stacks up. Ireland just a single point, same as Colombia. So this is a battle for the wooden spoon, if you will. Iran above them, and then Egypt and Brazil, the two sides progressing through to the knockout stages. And it's fair to say those two sides were the best two in the group. My name's Niall McCorn. Joining me for this final group stage game of the World Cup, Frankie Rudland. I think it's fair to say that Brazil and Egypt have been the sides to beat in this pool.
They certainly have, but look, Ireland put in a much improved display against the Brazilians, despite what the scoreline may suggest. They had their chances in that game. I'm not suggesting that they should have won it or drawn it by any means, but I know these lads have been working ever so hard to improve on the soccer field. They're clearly a talented bunch of players, but what they've been missing is a little bit of know-how, and that's what they've been working on. I was speaking to Andy Power in the week, and he was telling me they're doing a lot of video analysis. They're working on their shape. They tried something new against Brazil. They're learning. They've already gone one better than they did in Essen last year. They've got themselves a point. They didn't manage that in Germany, and it feels like they're not far off the Irish, and they know that this is a massive opportunity for them to get that first win. Without a win in 13 games, and they'll want to change that here against this Colombian side.
Well, good evening to everyone watching on from Ireland, from Baltimore to Ballycastle and everywhere in between. Around about 8 p.m. back in Ireland, so perfect time to get your feet up and stick on the soccer for the final time in the group stages. The time difference, 4 hours between Ireland and here in Oman. And of course the group stages conclude now and the knockouts begin 9 a.m. tomorrow. Great chance for Ireland, great save. Good opportunity for the Irish to crack through the Colombians inside 2 minutes, but well saved.
Big opening for Rob Ryan. He's really grown into this tournament. He was excellent against Brazil. Really intelligent player, works ever so hard, good with the ball at his feet, and he could have had himself a goal there. He was beating his chest against the Brazilians.
Well, the only 2 goals that Ireland have scored came in their group opener against Iran. Came from behind twice to draw with the Iranians. Searching for that elusive 3rd goal of the tournament here in their final group stage match against Colombia. Onofre. Good ball in. Brilliant. Brilliant from Ireland. Rob Ryan, foiled just minutes ago, applies the finishing touch. And we have liftoff. Ireland 1, Colombia 0.
devastating move from the Irish. It's as simple as you like, but so effective. Drilled ball across the face. Look at this for a ball into a dangerous area on a plate for Rob Ryan, who adjusts himself ever so well to cushion it home.
And he's there again, pinching the ball back for the boys in green. Good effort. Just wide. Machine Proudfoot, who scored one of those Ireland goals against Iran, whistles it wide.
One very close to becoming two there for Ireland, who have started at breakneck speed.
Donahue on the stretch. Well, Colombia, I dare say, don't look as up for this as the Irish do. It's a long old wait when you're playing at 11 p.m, the final slot of the day. Soccer kicking off at 9 a.m. You have to wait long hours before you get the chance to run out there. You can get itchy feet. Ireland are making the most of that wait.
Hard to believe that Ireland's stopper, Honor Frey, is just 17 years old. Already played in the Soccer Champions League. Crete this year. Staggering.
Donahue. Ireland on the move again here. Taken at the far post by Watkin. It's back here with Proudfoot. Ryan on the turn again. And it's a corner for the Irish.
Looks hungry, Rob Ryan, doesn't he? On the spin, gets the shot away. 3 times he's threatened the Colombian goal, and he's found the back of it on one occasion.
Clip towards the back post. Still it stays in. And in comes the effort. Strikes a teammate. Owen Carolyn was the man who smashed it goalwards. And Donahue was in the way. Just wonder, had that volley been a little bit cleaner at the far post, it could have been 2-0.
Yeah, the goal was gaping there for Sam Watkin, who was arriving late.
Ireland have been outstanding. They've really stormed out of the blocks here. Nothing to play for. Just pride on the line. Mario Ampudia will take the corner that he's just won for Colombia. Probably one of their key components, Mario Ampudia. Well blocked by Carolyn, and Ireland on the move here. Proudfoot can't keep it in play. Well, positive signs against Brazil on Tuesday. They lost 3-0, the Irish, in their last group stage game. But as you alluded to before kickoff, Frankie, they sat up in the stands, didn't they, for a couple of games when they weren't playing.
Yeah.
And kept an eye on some of the other teams that are tipped to be successful in this tournament, and they actually changed shape for the Brazil game, and despite holding a 3-0 loss, there were those green shoots of improvement.
There certainly were, and it's exactly the right attitude from the Irish, and that's what makes them so endearing. They're a young team, but a team that, you know, aren't sticking to their egos. They want to learn.
In comes the effort to the side netting.
They want to learn, they want to improve. And if you've got an attitude like that, coupled with talent, which they do have, you can go far.
Well, Colombia have receded into a defensive shape here, and that's testament to the excellent start that Ireland have made. Reverse pass into Carolyn. Take his effort on. Oh, a confident start, 7.5 minutes in from Ireland. No, they've been sampling the local sights and smells of Muscat. Who can blame them as well? For many, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to come here to the Middle East. And for many people, their first time in Oman, including us. What a tournament it's been so far. First ever to be held in the Middle East for soccer. Ryan does well to poke it out to the left. Heelan. Well, Heelan in the first group stage game against Iran had his nose busted a little bit. Blood on his shirt, had to go off and get it changed. Nothing wrong with me, ref. He was screaming.
He plays Gaelic football as well, Heelan, so he'll be a tough cookie.
Good touch from Ryan. Saints for Colombia. Moved on by Payares. Back to him by Munoz. Again, excellent. This time from Watkin for Ireland. Nice footwork as well. And it's an Ireland kick-in.
Dancing an Irish jig, wasn't he, Sam Watkin? Brilliant feat from the skipper.
It's been a solid start from Ireland. They have the deserved goal that their players warranted. Breaks for Colombia here. Tidily dealt with by the Ireland side. Rodriguez. Foul from Proudfoot. Well, we mentioned they lost 3-0 to Brazil, having slightly changed their approach, Ireland. Lost 2-0 to Egypt on Sunday. And off the basis of what we've seen from Egypt, it's by no means a drubbing. And Egypt have flexed their muscles against a couple of sides already in this group, so again, plenty to work with for the Irish team.
The Irish were full of praise for the Egyptians. Said they're a brilliant side and one that they actually found tougher to play than Brazil. And there's not many to say that about.
Taken quickly. Ireland alert to that danger. Game's just slowed down in tempo a touch. Ireland started at breakneck speed. Nice turn in the space there from Ryan. Effort deflected. Another Ireland corner. And for Rob Bryant, he's been the standout performer in green so far.
He has, and I've been massively impressed with him all tournament. Always wants the ball.
It's easy to hide. Only a small pitch. It's so easy to sit on the sidelines and hide behind opposition players and not show for the ball. A good chance for Colombia. They go route one. And that was a flying effort from Juan Munoz. David Mimner on for Ireland. Good turn, good pass, good opportunity. Keeper is down. Christian Jair Alvarez in net for Colombia.
They're doing the right things, the Irish. I watched them against Egypt, and they used that long ball far too much. Much better in this one, getting on the deck, working it to that byline, low balls across the face. They've already benefited. It's exactly how their first goal came.
Of course, changes in tactics are hard to practice because you only play competitive games. Heelan's effort blocked away. It's almost like running repairs in a game. And they knew that it was going to be an uphill challenge to defeat Brazil, but it might stand them in good stead in the long run. Those tactical tweaks that they made in that game and look to have continued in this one.
Like I say, they're a young team. They're a team who'll grow together.
Superb. Superb for Ireland. David Mimner doubles Ireland's advantage. And the jubilation and joy emanating from the field here in Oman.
Well, we mentioned they learnt from Brazil. It was just like watching Brazil, that. Flick round the corner and Mimner with a finish through the keeper's legs and into the back of the net. From Rio to Dublin.
Outstanding from Ireland into a 2-0 first half lead. We've seen some good goals today. Individual quality, team goals. Ireland on the march again. Well, they'll have a free kick. Just didn't really drop for them, did it, Frankie, to tuck away that third goal. They'll have a free kick instead.
It didn't, but Heelan again with some excellent footwork. Little bowl roll, clear of his man. Just a slightly heavy touch afterwards. Got away from him a little bit. But just look how quickly Rafael Esteves Silva snapped back to win the free kick for Ireland. And you might be wondering whether I'm naming the wrong player from the wrong team. No, he was born in Sao Paulo, now lives in Waterford.
That's what soccer is all about. That's what makes soccer so special. Taken short. Outstanding again. Ireland are all over Colombia here. And the boys in green are going ballistic. They are running riot in their final group stage game. Owen Carolyn adds a third.
Well, his girlfriend Juliet is watching from home and she'll be beaming with pride at that one. As I said, Ireland have been working on this, how to play on the soccer field. That's exactly how you do it. Work it to that byline, and instead of cutting it back across the face, Carolyn ever so cheekily squeezes it in at the near post. Excellent finish from him. And you have to say the Irish fully deserve this 3-0 lead.
Statuesque from Colombia. Superb from Ireland.
Bearing the fruits of their hard work.
Well, where has this Ireland been all tournament? Where's it been hiding? We know they're always up for the fight. But this is a performance to be mightily proud of in the first half.
I've said it before and I'll say it again, Niall. It's easy to roll out the cliches with Ireland. They're gritty. Yes, they're hungry. They fight hard.
And they're working it forward again. Looking for a devastating first half fourth. Only played 16 or so minutes.
As I was saying, while all of that is true, they've got undeniable quality.
Carolyn. Proudfoot loses his footing. Well, this could well be Ireland's first ever Soccer World Cup win. Things stay as they are, Frankie. Be a moment to savour for the Irish.
They've been anonymous, Colombia, haven't they? Offered little to nothing. Simply can't deal with the Green Brigade.
Ryan. Brilliant again. That's what confidence can do. Free kick Ireland. 2 minutes to go until half time. Remember, 20-minute halves. And roll on, roll off substitutions in the Soccer World Cup. Proudfoot hits it and forces a save. It was sneaking in.
Nice effort. We're sat right behind that one, weren't we? Plenty of swerve on it. Just see here how that ball bends.
Well, half-time will soon be here. And I think the message from the Irish will be more of the same from the Colombians. The message will be just be more of anything. They've not shown anything at the moment. Blistering 4-4 draw with Iran in their opening group stage game for Colombia. Then they were beaten 3-0 by Brazil and then 5-1 by Egypt. They've kind of whimpered out of the tournament. It's not what you expect from a Colombia team.
The evidence of this first half, you have to question where those 4 goals came from against Iran. We've seen little to nothing by way of attacking threat.
It was one of those back and forth games that you often get in a World Cup or in a game of soccer in general. Iran took the lead, then Colombia equalised, then Colombia took the lead, then Iran equalised. Just this way and that. Ireland's games have been pretty straightforward. But they're the ones applying the killer touch here tonight into the final minute. And very nearly at half-time. And there is the whistle that wraps up an almost perfect first half from Ireland. From the very start, they bore their teeth and they got stuck into the Colombians. 1 from Ryan, soon became 2 from Carolyn. And then there was a third as well. Mimna and Carolyn scoring within a minute of each other. Ruthless from the Irish. 3-0 at half-time.
But they were saying they felt this was a game they could win. They built it up in their minds. So desperate for that first win at a World Cup. 13 games without one. And that looks like it's going to come to an end tonight. They've been scintillating, the Irish. Played the kind of football you wouldn't normally tip a fight with an Ireland side. But they've been learning, they've been growing. And wow, they've been good value for it. Just see here a couple of opportunities before they even had their first. And this ball from Captain Watkin, excellent. Right on the money, isn't it?
Yeah, the teamwork and the build-up play has been outstanding from Ireland. Every single player has played their part. Watkin, it's an outstanding ball, and it's not an easy finish that from Ryan.
Just look on the right, you can picture there, the run across that back post. So easy for so hard rather for a defender to track. Rob Ryan just ghosts in.
Involved again, Rob Ryan there. And
there
this was 2-0. David Mimna, cheeky little nutmeg.
Beautiful from Mimna. Steadied himself through the legs.
A little tip off round the corner.
Yeah.
Superb. And the goalkeeper beaten. Well, he left the angle, didn't he? Left the gap between his legs.
Look at that, straight through the letterbox. And then this, a really well worked set piece. They've had some tough lessons from the very best of Ireland, but the most important thing is they've learnt from them. And that there just shows how much they've come on, how vital set pieces can be. Carolyn, well placed in that sweet spot, the far post.
"20 minutes left of both Ireland and Colombia's Soccer World Cups. But one of the two sides will be going home the happier. As things stand, Ireland 3, Colombia 0. Hard really, Frankie, to put your finger on an outstanding performance. Rob Ryan started the game superbly. Then we saw excellence in that assist from Watkin. Heelan's been impressive. Everyone's played their part.
They absolutely have. Carolyn as well. Got himself a goal. Some important work defensively. To a man, the Irish have been impressive so far. And it's not always easy to stick together as a group when you're losing football matches or soccer matches. It's easy for rifts to form, players to fall out, start to quibble, point fingers, ask why things aren't going their way. But they've stuck right together, this Ireland team. They've learnt as a group, and now they're thriving as a group.
Both sides ready to get restarted, but the referee's not quite ready to resume just yet. It is 25 past 11 here in Muscat. This is the final group stage game of the World Cup 2024. We will now be able to figure out who takes on who in the knockout stages, which kick off at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Italy squeezing through to the last 16 in dramatic fashion. They're first on against Croatia. No respite for them. No respite for Colombia at the moment, because Ireland onto them straight away. Well, as good a first half team performance as we've seen in these group stages from Ireland.
Entertaining football as well. We've seen a lot of games at this tournament spark into life in the latter stages.
Well, positioning so important, isn't it, in soccer? And positionally, perhaps the Irish haven't quite been there in the previous group stage games, but in this game, they've been faultless. They've known where to stand, when to close down, when to stand off. They've given it away, though, here to Colombia. And the deflected effort means it's a corner for the South Americans. Corner for Colombia.